This is a collection of 6 imaginative stories. Our first one starts in a city, with a voiceover saying that humans think it's their universe, but it's not. The narrator's kind were part of this world, long before humans arrived. We see our protagonist tripping a man on a busy street. This causes him to get hit by a bus. For him to rise, humans have to go down. We don't know what he is, but the man has intimidating yellow eyes. Someone walks by to give him a ball with the name Tracy on it. This means it's time for her life to end. The protagonist wants to be promoted to soul collector, narrating that it's every demon's dream. So that's what he is, a demon. He's a demon seeking a promotion. Then we see a lady come near the demon. She is also like him. After she completes her assignment, he wonders how she became a higher demon than him. Interestingly, the demon enters a church to kneel before Jesus. This prompts another man to come to him, saying he's not supposed to be there. At that moment, we see a man being rude to the lady whose name was on the ball, Tracy. The demon is there to drop the ball for her to step on. By doing so, she accidentally bumps the demon lady behind her, which causes the demon lady to get hit by a car. The demon didn't intend for this to happen. 2 other demons start chasing him, though he hides. While he does, he observes his reflection to see a halo above his head. It seems like his mistake turned his alignment around. Back in the church, he screams in disappointment. He tells the man next to him that he came there to ask God to put things back how they were. The man reveals himself to be a fallen angel. He also tells the demon that he will soon become mortal. However, there is still a way for him, which the demon demands to know. He has to finish his contract with Tracy. If he doesn't, he will be stuck there. Once his halo vanishes, it's game over. After that, the demon sneaks into Tracy's house. A man comes in to look for her. Soon, she comes to him to tell him it's over. This causes him to smack the helpless lady. As he attempts to beat her, the demon stands by to protect Tracy. He knocks down the abusive man, yet he points his gun at Tracy. He is upset that he acquired the halo because of her, but he cannot bring himself to do it for some reason. Is there some good in him after all? Or did he start possessing it once he got the halo? As the demon, or perhaps angel, walks away, the abusive man comes behind him to shoot him down. After, we hear him shoot Tracy. At that point, the fallen angel comes to our transformed angel to tell him he got 2 for the price of 1. It seems like the fallen angel set him up. Shortly after, the protagonist lies, wondering whether he is damned or saved. This concludes our first story. In our second story, we are introduced to a businessman on the street. He walks into a restaurant, where we observe he is the typical stereotype of his occupation. He is in a hurry and acts somewhat rudely. When he sits, a homeless man enters to join him. Of course, the businessman wants him to leave, yet the tramp stays seated. After making a cryptic statement, he takes the businessman's phone away. He will give it back if the man listens to him. At first, the businessman doesn't want to play this game, but the homeless man convinces him. He continues being cryptic as he describes what's going on in the city. He takes out a whistle afterward, saying that if he blows it, the sound will make a change. When he does, it makes some people in the restaurant hold their ears in agony. Soon enough, they leave. This makes the businessman say it's a neat trick, though it doesn't prove anything. That is when the tramp starts saying that he was like him in the past. He describes more of the weirdness that is going on in the city. To that, the businessman says the city has always been like that. The homeless man was once walking on a busy street, where everyone stopped to look at him. As he describes the terror of that situation, he grabs the businessman's hand in his manic state. Eventually, the tramp tells him he was trapped. After he gets asked how he escaped, he admits that he didn't. At that point, other people in the restaurant stand up. The tramp informs the businessman that there are few people left like him. Scared, the businessman wants to give this trickster money to let him go, since he now finds himself in a thick situation. However, the homeless man gives him the unfortunate news that they laugh at his money. This causes the businessman to stand and slowly back away, into the part of the restaurant that will give him no escape. He observes how they all stand there to creepily look at him. What is going on? Who are these people? More importantly, who is the maniac who caused this scene? These are the kind of thoughts that are most likely pacing in his mind. Then they all slowly start walking toward him. He tries hiding in the washroom, but that will not grant him an escape. The man blows the whistle again, laughing in the process. How many times has he pulled a trick like this? The businessman never gets his phone back, as he meets his demise in the washroom. To make matters more humiliating, it ends for him in the female washroom. This concludes our second story. Our third story begins with a young boy sleeping in his room. Suddenly, a red burning light shines in his closet. After the door opens, a strange hand comes to poke the boy's feet. In the morning, a soldier comes in to wake the boy up, whose name is Daniel. The soldier is his highly disciplined father. He sees that Daniel wet his bed and gives him a hard time for it. Yet the boy says it was the monster who scared him. Of course, such words are nonsense to his father. He locks Daniel's action figures in his toy box, saying he will only play with them once he stops wetting the bed. However, one figure remains in the boy's hand. At night, his dad tells him if he wets the bed again, he will take him to the doctor. Daniel looks in his closet before jumping back to bed. At the moment, there is nothing there. Afterward, Daniel starts talking to his one remaining soldier toy. He wants his help to fight the monster. Before going to sleep, he places him down near his finished dinner plate. Later that night, we see something magical take place. Daniel's soldier has taken a living form. He uses a knife to open Daniel's toy box. This allows the rest of the soldiers to come out. They take out dice with dominoes to set them up as barricades. Since they're tiny, this is what they have to work with. After they set them up, the captain gives them a motivational speech to defeat the monster. Perhaps he was moved by what Daniel told him earlier. So they all stand behind the barricade. When the red light appears and the closet door opens, we see the monster, who is a collection of closet materials. It comes out as a giant for the soldiers. But this doesn't scare them from performing their disciplined duty. They start firing at it, while Daniel moves in his bed from the sound. Fortunately, he stays asleep amid such loud warfare. Soon enough, all that concentrated firepower brings the monster down. However, it uses its claw to disrupt the barricade. This seems to have hurt the captain. As the soldiers keep shooting the monster, it collects itself to crush them before doing what it must, poke Daniel's foot to scare him. It proved too strong for the tiny soldiers to handle, but the captain comes up with the idea to tie the knife to a slinky that he also managed to connect to the monster. After that, he places the knife into an electrical socket, which shocks the monster along with himself. This sacrificial action finally brings it down. In the morning, we see the assortment of toys lying messily on the floor. No one will ever know what took place last night. That this messy assortment was an intense battlefield to save Daniel from being afraid, along with the scolding of his father. Then his dad comes in, upset, as he sees the mess. Yet upon waking his son up, his disappointment becomes replaced with relief when he observes that Daniel did not wet the bed. The captain didn't let the monster get to him. The monster will possibly never roam again. In the final moment, we see the captain still alive, smiling at having completed his mission. Our fourth story starts with a man lying in bed while watching television. Before going to sleep, he turns it off. But as he sleeps, the TV turns on to display static. The man strangely finds himself on the couch, while the TV whispers for him to wake up. He comes near it, for the apparatus to tell him he will never wake up. At that point, it turns off, while a dark character walks along the hallway. The man follows this dark being, who looks like a shadow. He doesn't want it to enter a certain room. Disobeying him, it does anyway. The man then enters it too, seeing a sleeping version of himself. We now see the dark entity a little better. She has horns on her head, which perhaps proves her evil nature. She comes to the sleeping version of the man. However, the wakeful one pushes her aside and urges himself to wake up. After that, the lady comes to him to take his life. With that happening, the man wakes up in fear. But the dark dream lady proves what the television told him about never waking up. She stands behind him, showing us the man is still in a state of sleep. The fifth story in our collection begins with two girls riding at night. The one driving, Laura, has a hard time staying awake. The next scene has her waking up in the car. She sees a church sign to her left that states all men lose their lives. Soon enough, she starts having a video call with her friend, Julia, who wants Laura to pick her up because something is not right. She is scared wherever she is. Laura asks if Julia's boyfriend, Travis, did something bad to her. Julia replies she lost consciousness once she arrived somewhere. While she was out, she had a nightmare. There was a man in some hallway who was dressed in black. Julia ran, not knowing what happened to Travis. At this point, we wonder where the other girl is who Laura was riding with. Did she just disappear? Then Laura asks about the blood on Julia's neck. All the scared girl wants is to be picked up. After she says this, a vehicle turns on behind her. Meanwhile, her reception also goes bad, causing the call to end. Laura calls her a few times, thinking this is all a prank. Each of her calls, though, goes straight to Julia's answering machine. Following that, she calls Travis on video. The man just oddly stares at her. Shortly after, he moves around abruptly and erratically, causing Laura to drop her phone. Julia sends her a text message with the address to which she should go. However, upon entering it into her phone, something eerie takes place. Her phone says the destination is only 20 feet away. So she comes out to text her friend that she has arrived. There is a van in the location. That turns on just like it did for Julia. When Laura comes near it, we see an unpleasant display on its side. The devil's kitchen cannot be a good sign. It starts shaking, causing Laura to panic because she thinks Julia is inside. The girl calls Laura again, who tells Julia to open the van, crying. But her friend tells her that she can't because they are lifeless. Laura thinks that Travis is with her and doesn't understand how they're both lifeless. Yet Julia says she's not there with Travis, implying that she means Laura. They lost their lives together. At that point, flames surround Julia, while a black hand touches Laura's shoulder. We then get a flashback of the two girls riding together again. It seems like their lives ended on that road when they got into an accident. We see the man that Julia must have spoken of. He has many hands that claim Laura. Our final installment begins with a newsman on TV announcing that the nation has been attacked by a new narc called Hype. We see chaos taking place on the streets before the newsman mentions the Lord Bodga. Afterward, we are introduced to our protagonist, an FBI agent who speaks with his commanding officer in a locker room. He is Dice, who is worried about doing his next mission. To ease his worry, the commanding officer gives Dice a small tube of Hype, but the man doesn't want to do it anymore. To this, his co-encourages him to arrest the person who made the that claimed his son's life. This makes Dice use Hype. Once he does, he says he will be out after he catches Bodga. The substance turns his eyes bright blue. In the next scene, we see Dice with his partner, Chang, in some advanced jumpsuits. They stand together in a special room, which allows them to be transported from the US to Berlin in a matter of seconds. However, they don't go there in physical form. After they arrive, they sport different attire while at a party. As they walk around, observing, their visual and auditory information gets received by the military personnel back at the US base. Soon enough, a bodyguard suspects them of being out of place, but Chang delivers a powerful kick to bring the heavy man down. At that point, Bodga appears on stage, revealing herself as a female. The party gets crashed after she announces she has FBI business to take care of. Bodga seems to know Dice, telling him he's taking hype because of his blue eyes. Dice admits to being on it, only so he can catch her. This prompts Bodga's cronies to start shooting at the agents. We find out what they are at that moment. They are holograms that bullets cannot damage, yet somehow they can deal damage in return. This makes their technology very advanced, to say the least. Once only Bodga is left, Dice tells her she should have left his son out of this, and shoots her. But surprisingly, the FBI agents aren't the only ones with outstanding technology. Bodga is a sophisticated hologram too. She uses an electrocution stick to bring Chang down. By doing so, she proves to be better equipped than the agents. She tries the same move on Dice, though he evades it. However, since there is a conflict back at base with Dice using hype, he gets transported back. Bako, acting hypocritically, orders that Dice be arrested for his use of hype. He does this because a higher governmental official watched this entire event. After that anticlimactic occurrence, we see Bodga disengaging from the same kind of technology the agents used. She says she's going to give the FBI her birthday surprise.